Imagine, if you will, a mouse. After a year, the mouse dies. Yeah, that was basically Unus Annus. Welcome to the video, everybody. Back in 2019, a YouTube channel suddenly appeared in the recommended sections of many people. And whilst that is not an uncommon occurrence, something about this channel was very different from what everybody was used to. You see, the entire premise of the channel was that there would be daily uploads to it until exactly a year after its creation, when it would be deleted forever. No videos would be saved, no social media accounts would be kept up, all the possible merchandise made from the channel would stop being sold, everything would disappear. And this channel's name was Unus Annus. Also, another thing that probably got people interested was that it was created by some of the most prominent faces on YouTube at the time. Ethan Nestor, formerly known as Lever Let's Plays, and Marcus Forceps. People were immediately intrigued by the introduction video of Unus Annus, showing the faces of the channel dressed in black and white suits explaining the overall concept of their project, and also how in general our time on this planet is finite and we're all dying extremely quickly, to add some existential spice in there. It seemed so serious and cool and filled with mystery. So obviously the next video everyone was expecting was cooking breakfast with sex toys. If the first video of Unus Annus was supposed to set the mood for the message they were trying to send with their project, the second video set the mood for basically everything else surrounding the channel. The content of Unus Annus was mostly about the two fellas having dumb fun doing whatever they had in mind for the day. And whilst a ton of people probably weren't that impressed by these videos and thought nothing of them, I'm not gonna lie, the content of Unus Annus was some of my favorite content on YouTube ever. As much as I love analysis videos going way too deep into various pieces of media I've never heard of in my life, and 5-hour-long essays about onions and the best ways to cut them, which is actually a much more interesting topic than you'd think, since the core of that question can be traced all the way back to part 1, the beginning of food. My favorite type of content on YouTube has, and always will be, people just hanging out, doing whatever they want. I just think it's so cozy, so calming, so authentic, and something you don't see that much on YouTube anymore, due to the platform having changed the type of content it wants to see from its creators to focus on stuff with a lot more effort in it. Which, okay, that is completely fair, however, I do not believe this style captures the same magic that a few fellas, a camera, and a dumb idea can create. Both styles have a special place in my heart, I just like this one ever so slightly more. So seeing Unus Annus be able to bring back this specific style of content to YouTube because they weren't burdened by caring about demonetization or age restriction was such a breath of fresh air on at least my subscription feed, and the fleeting nature of the channel made those arguably dumb videos even more special. However, we'll get into that later. Later has passed, let's get into it. See, I'm not here to talk about the actual content of Unus Annus any further, because let's be honest, there's just not that much meaning one can take out of eating Play-Doh, drinking piss, or whatever One Man 100 Accents was. Instead, I want to talk about the general impact and concept of Unus Annus. And to preface this topic, I'd like to tell you my perspective on the events of November 13th, 2020. Okay, we're good. This day was obviously the final day of Unus Annus. It had been exactly 1 year since it was created. The final upload on the channel was a livestream of the main trio responsible for Unus Annus, Mark, Ethan, and Amy, looking back at previous videos on the channel, reading the messages sent from all the other people who worked on the project, as well as talking about the general experience of doing something of this magnitude. How for a year, a full 365 days straight, they managed to create a video every day, amounting to 368 videos. They had some extra ones here and there, with a fair amount of production value in almost every single one, and how they were about to throw all that effort and content away, never to be seen again. The stream was fun and lighthearted for the most part, however there was a grim, expecting feeling of the inevitable underlining the whole stream. At the beginning and end of each Unus Annus video, there was this timer ticking down to the final day of the channel, reminding the viewer every day of the exact time it was all going to disappear. This timer never felt very imposing, at least to me, and the end of the channel never felt that close, since whenever I thought about it, the timer was still in the hundreds of days. But this very same timer was now ticking down on the final livestream and had run out of days and even hours to count down. All that was left were minutes. Mere minutes before an entire year's worth of memories and thoughts would cease to be.
All three of us together,
Yeah.
ready? 1, 2, 3. Unus Annus.
See you on the other side.
See you on the other side.
And with the final utterance of this line, the screen went black, only to show the message everyone had been anticipating but not wanting to see since the very beginning. This channel does not exist anymore. I can't remember what time the stream specifically happened at for me, but I do remember it being extremely late at night because goddammit American time zones. However, my immense tiredness didn't take away from the incredibly strange feeling of seeing that screen cut to black. That was it. The channel was gone. There was no more live chat of over 1 million people consecutively talking. There was no more noise. There was no more Unus Annus. I hadn't experienced a YouTube channel that was meaningful to me disappear from the internet until that point. And the fact that it was just gone like that in a second felt strange. I just sat there, thinking. Partially about how I should go to bed, but mostly about what had just happened and all the moments preceding it. I knew this moment was going to happen, everyone did, from the start. But even with those expectations, I got stuck thinking about that final moment of me sitting in my room as the livestream went dark and the channel in general for a good while. In fact, I've been stuck on it for 4 years now. And I think it's because it forced me to face a truth I hadn't even thought of at that point. See, when it comes to Unus Annus, I think many people took away mostly the message of death and how you and everyone around you will die one day, and you just have to accept that. However, that's not really what I thought about when it came to the channel. The thing that I got out of Unus Annus is how it represented the internet's life cycle. I feel like I need to preface this next part by saying that when I say the internet, I mostly mean social media and the sharing of media online, but it sounds snazzier if I just say the internet. As a person who's grown up with the internet, it's weird to think about the fact that YouTube and many other social media sites will most definitely go down one day, due to them either becoming outdated, unused, or because of something I can't even come up with until it's already happened. Some of these shutdowns might even be as immediate as Unus Annus's. Just one click and they're gone for good, instead of the slow trickle down one might expect. And once these places go down, a lot of memories go down with them. This got me thinking about how I, and probably some of you as well, have created a sort of safety net around my memories in my head. Thinking I don't really need to try remembering things that hard since I have a constant backlog of videos and pictures and saved messages that I can go back to at any point, and be able to recall some further memories by reminiscing about the life situations I was in whilst first watching/creating that media. And because, like I said, I grew up with the internet basically from birth, there's a lot of memories that I've delegated to the safety net. Because for the longest time I thought I could always access whatever memory I want with the help of the internet, when in reality that's not really the case. There will be times when videos, messages, and pictures I've archived get accidentally deleted forever, due to my own mistakes, companies screwing things up leading to the same outcome, or hell, the entirety of Google shutting down completely overnight. And when that happens, all I'll be left with are hazy memories that I convinced myself not to pay too much attention to due to having a place where I can allegedly look back at them at all times. And Unus Annus made me realize all of this. Compared to every other channel I've ever watched, I think I paid the most attention to the videos of Unus Annus, knowing I only had a limited time to rewatch them and enjoy them, and therefore Unus Annus and its content has stayed as one of the clearest YouTube memories for me. I'd love to say that because of this whole I can remember Unus Annus video super clearly thing, I can remember my actual life from that period clearer too. However, I feel like remembering 2020 well is something I cannot give to Unus Annus alone. I can't remember the specifics of almost any video I've watched on YouTube, just the general message or point. However, with Unus Annus, I remember individual jokes and bits from the videos, the way certain video concepts devolved in specific ways, who were involved in what videos, etc. The limited nature of the channel forced me to pay attention and enjoy every video as much as I could in the time I had to see them, which made me respect the sometimes dumbass videos of Unus Annus even more. And I want to do that with more channels. I want to start properly paying attention to the channels that I adore and try to remember as much as I can from them, because these channels are important to me, so why shouldn't I put a bit more effort into trying to immortalize them in my head? You don't count, I already remember 80% of your videos off by heart. And when it comes to other forms of media, I'll get a picture book when I've lived long enough to justify one or something, I don't know. Everything I've mentioned today is what Unus Annus meant to me. It was something that, more or less, taught me and many others about mortality. It was about being in the moment and trying to enjoy it. It was about not being comfortably confined to the safety net of always having a backlog of memories to look back on online. It was a channel of comfort during an inarguably shitty time in everyone's lives. It was a feeling that to this day hasn't left me. And most of all, it was a fucking fun channel that meant a lot to me and a lot of others on this planet as well, considering how many people still remember Unus Annus to this day. So for the people who were there during the channel's existence, let's keep remembering Unus Annus, yeah? As a reminder of the inevitable, whatever that may be to you, and good memories. I feel like that's the least we can do. And for the people who hadn't heard of it until now, even if it may not have had any significance in your life, please keep it in your memory as well so it'll have a slightly higher chance of staying in people's minds for a few years longer. Happy 4-year deathaversary to a fascinating channel on YouTube that I am so happy I got to experience as it happened. Memento Mori, Unus Annus. I still want them to do that video where they put a heat detector on their crotches and scroll through different fetishes to find out what the other is into. I'm just saying that it would have been funny!
Hey now, don't try it at home. Do-do-do-do-do. Hey now, don't try it. Don't you dare try it. You might die if you do this at home. Do-do-do-do.
Oh, it's a key change. Oh, it's a key change. Oh, it's a key
Don't try this at home. If you do, you might die. This is our disclaimer to you. Hey, don't be that guy. Just watch us do the thing you want to do. Be safe for me, but be safe for you.